Hey everybody, you're listening to WVA Stonewall Jackson. WVA Stonewall Jackson. Hope everybody's had a wonderful day and everything. Sorry I haven't made some shows lately. My stupid internet's been messing up again. But today is working, so that's the main thing, so I can make y'all some shows and everything and talk about different things. So I'm going to start out by reading this article off Infowars.com. And if I have time, I'll read y'all some articles off thetrudge.com. Illegal immigrants surge on southern border ahead of 2016 election. The Obama administration has confirmed a large surge of illegal immigrants along America's southern border less than a month before the presidential election that has thrust the issue into national stage. The Department of Homeland Security published new statistics on Monday that confirmed at least 408,870 illegal aliens were apprehended along the U.S. southern border in fiscal year 2016, a 23% surge from this time last year. The rate of juvenile illegal immigrants being apprehended on the border also has increased according to the statistics, which show a 49% jump from similar periods in 2015. The surge in illegal immigrants comes as leading members of Congress pursue an investigation into the precise number of individuals the Obama administration wrongly granted citizenship and illegal benefits. You can read more on Infowars.com. You can read the whole article. Here's one. Wait on this thing to pop up for y'all. Let's see. Just trying to load, y'all. We'll see. All right. Here you go. It says, EPA chief, I'm not talking to climate deniers. Environmental Protection Agency Administration Gina McCarthy said she's done talking to the climate deniers who don't think human activities are causing global warming. If they haven't figured it out by now, what in God's name could anyone say to them? McCarthy said in a Facebook Live interview with Mashable Tuesday. I don't check out Flat Earth Society, and I'm not talking to climate deniers, she said. That's it, sorry. I know I'm supposed to be for everybody, but my patience has worn thin over 8 years. McCarthy has been one of the more controversial EPA chiefs since the agency's global warming rule, called the Clean Power Plan, was finalized under her watch. Republicans even called for her resignation in the wake of the EPA-caused Gold King mine spill in 2015. You'll read more of that article on Infowars.com too. Wow. Here's another article I'll read to y'all. How big Pharma is fueling a health crisis that claims 700,000 lives a year. Epidemic levels of opiate addiction and overdose in the United States have gained widespread attention, and Big Pharma has rightfully been implicated in the problem. But another health crisis is sweeping not just America but the world, and drug companies' role in the latest crisis is equally significant. Superbugs have garnered countless headlines lately, and for good reason. As Bloomberg reported this week, superbugs, bacteria that have grown resistant to antibiotics, are estimated to claim the lives of 700,000 worldwide every year. Data on cases in the United States and government agencies are complicit. A recent report by RAND Europe, commissioned by the UK government, found that by 2050, that number could rise to 10 million if measures are not taken to quell the rising threat of antimicrobial resistance, AMR, By comparison, the World Health Organization estimates 69,000 people die every year globally from opiate overdose. News stories consistently crop up sounding alarms about discoveries of superbugs resistant to even the most potent antibiotics, some of which are saved for use only in the most dangerous, life-threatening cases. In truth, many of these headlines are grossly sensationalized by mainstream media in apparent attempts to fearmonger their audiences and draw traffic. For example, most superbugs are confined to and contracted at hospitals, meaning nightmare strains many outlets have warned about are not crawling on the street corners. Nevertheless, the underlying problem is real. Overzealous doctors eager to dole out antibiotics or quick fixes to patients' infections are undeniably responsible for part of the growing epidemic. According to a recent study by the CDC and Pew Charitable Trust in the U.S., antibiotics are unnecessary in one-third of cases where they're prescribed. That amounts to roughly 47 million excess prescriptions. In other countries, antibiotics are available for purchase over the counter, another factor that contributes to their overuse, but equally, if not more concerning, is Big Pharma's dominion over the United States and world's food supply. One of the biggest factors contributing to the growth of superbugs is the heavy-handed use of human antibiotics in livestock intended for human consumption. Bloomberg notes, in 2014, 60% of sales of the antibiotics sold for livestock were medically important to humans according to the FDA. They are also popular overseas. The global animal antibiotics market should reach 4.1 billion by 2018, according to one study from researcher Mark Sand Markets. According to an analysis by the FDA, sales of antibiotics for use in livestock increased 23% between 2009 and 2014. Further, on Monday, The Guardian reported that new data published by the European Medicines Agency found use of some of the strongest antibiotics available to treat life-threatening infections has risen to record levels on European farms. This unsettling growth trend has dire implications for human health. A report released last month by a group of environmental and consumer groups, including the Natural Resources Defense Council, Friends of the Earth, the Consumers Union, the Centers for Food Safety, and the Food Animal Concerns Trust, explains some of the biggest problems with the use of human antibiotics in animals. These drugs are often given to animals that are not sick to accelerate weight gain and prevent diseases stemming from poor diets in crowded, stressful, and dirty conditions. Approximately 96% of the antibiotics sold for animal use are added to feed and water, the preferred way to deliver antibiotics to large flocks or herds of animals at once. They note the addition of drugs to feed and water is playing a powerful role in the growth of superbugs. This practice is a key contributor to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, sometimes called superbugs, which can escape the farm and spread into communities through air, water, soil, meat, and even workers. Resistant superbugs can make us sick or pass on resistance to other bacteria, which can make us sick. Though according to the same report, an increasing number of restaurants and fast food establishments are decreasing their use of meats that contain antibiotics. The threat is still immediate. As the FDA moves to increase regulations on human antibiotic use in animals, however, pharmaceutical companies are launching webinars to teach farmers how to continue their use of antibiotics without violating the stricter rules. In other countries, pharmaceutical sales of antibiotics destined for livestock continue. As some of the biggest responsible parties, namely the companies making the products, are still selling the antibiotics in other countries, it just underscores that this has to be a change that happens across the entire world, says David Wallinga, senior health official and physician at the National Resources Defense Council, and the companies bear a big responsibility for that approach. The short-term problem is further compounded by the current lack of incentive. Drug companies have to produce better antibiotics because they are expensive to make and do not generate the same profits as cancer drugs, for example. Companies are slow to move on developing stronger antibiotics to fight evolving superbugs. Even so, it appears that course of action might only inspire stronger superbugs as they evolve to survive increasingly powerful drugs. Nevertheless, some solutions are emerging. For example, Australian researchers announced this week that Tasmanian devil's milk is a promising treatment for aggressive bacterial infections. According to Vinky Ramaskrishnan, a Nobel Prize-winning chemist based at the Laboratory of Molecular Biology at the University of Cambridge, there are several viable approaches to curbing the growing problem. First, he explains antibiotic prescriptions should be limited and the drugs prescribed should be targeted specifically to the infection in question. He also says bacteriophages, viruses that directly attack bacteria, could be useful. Ramakrishnan believes antibiotic use in livestock must be reduced and suggests vaccines could also be helpful, but notes public hygiene is an essential factor in reducing the spread of bacteria. I am an optimist, he said, when asked if the situation could be remedied. I think that when things get serious, people have a habit of responding. And I'm hoping that people don't wait for a big crisis to respond, because then a lot of people will die before things will get corrected and improve. And that was the end of that article. I thank y'all for listening to my radio program and everything. It'd be more from where this came from and everything. If you have any ideas or questions, just message me or something. I'm going to watch the last presidential debate tonight and everything, so make sure y'all watch that. I've been praying really hard for our country and for next, our leaders and everything. I'm still voting for Trump and everything. I just hope and pray that things will get better, But people, this country will never be great again until we start putting God first again. In God we trust. One nation, under God. I'm not saying we all still have a right to, believe the way we want to. But this country was founded, on believers in God and everything, and, immigrants and everything. I think we need immigration, but I still think people should be coming in legally, I think if they built a wall, it would slow down a lot of the immigrants coming in. It would stop the illegal drugs from coming in, too. And I think what they need to do, too, is they need to go and legalize marijuana in all 50 states. Matter of fact, they need to legalize it all over the world. And that way we can help these people with these drugs addictions, This heroin epidemic in this country and West Virginia is terrible and everything. And cannabis has been proven to help people that's hooked on drugs real bad to get off. And it's a lot safer for people. It's not nowhere near as dangerous. Most of y'all have been brainwashed for most of your lives to think that it's so bad, but it's totally the opposite. It's a plant, it's an herb, it's a medicine. Y'all have a good day, and God bless y'all.